Alright, what's going on, guys? This is Rest. In this video, I actually want to go over what I think to be the worst to best classes in the Outriders demo. Now, these are just my personal opinions, so if you think otherwise, be sure to drop a comment because I would love to know what you think. And if you enjoy or find this video helpful in any way, consider subscribing and dropping a like. It's free, it really helps me out, and I truly appreciate it. So starting off at the number 4 spot, or the worst one, we have the TRICKSTER. Okay, yeah, obviously that's a joke. We have the PYROMANCER. Now, some of you might be thinking the PYROMANCER in the last spot over something like the TECHNOMANCER. In my opinion, like I said, PYROMANCER is worse. And simply because the PYROMANCER in the demo just doesn't have a lot going for him as other classes, and the main thing is the healing mechanic. So in the demo, we don't have access to any of the skill trees at all other than just 2 skill points. So you don't really have much going for you. If you look at the other class healing mechanics, you have things where literally just killing enemies at close range heal you or grant you shields, and then even on something like the TECHNOMANCER, just shooting enemies heal you. The PYROMANCER's only healing comes from when your skills damage somebody, and since this is also the demo, we don't have a lot of cooldown rate for these skills. So these skills do cool down fairly quick, but compared to what it could be, they're cooling down extremely slow. So you can't apply your burns to a lot of enemies really fast, or even apply Ash because they don't really have access to that as well in the demo. And the healing on the PYROMANCER, you're just gonna die a lot. You can't do much simply because you don't have access to stuff that's gonna let you heal. Later on the skill tree, you have things to access to skill life leech, which I assume is gonna let your skills heal you whenever you're damaging an enemy. Plus you're gonna have access to other stuff where you heal more when your skills are afflicted to enemies. So I imagine in the full game, the PYROMANCER is going to be way stronger. But like I said, this is specifically for the demo. And as of right now, he just cannot heal as much as the other classes. Now, also, this class doesn't have any crowd control skills, much like the Devastator and TRICKSTER. And the TECHNOMANCER also is kind of struggling with this as well, sorta. But the PYROMANCER has literally 0 crowd control skills. So literally everything can just obliterate you because you don't really have access to stop them. The only skill they do have is the one where you simply pull an enemy and stun them for a second, and that's literally it. You know, you don't have something like the TRICKSTER where he has a slow bubble up that just stops everything, or the Devastator just slamming an earthquake on the ground that can stun everything. You don't have any of that. Now, this is not me bashing on the PYROMANCER because I'm going to be a PYROMANCER main when the game launches, and I seriously think the PYROMANCER is going to be very strong when the game does launch. It's just as of right now, we don't have access to a bunch of the skill points or their other skills. Plus, we also don't have access to all the mods in the game, which is obviously going to benefit it as well. But right now, that is where the PYROMANCER stands. And if you couldn't tell, at number 3, we're going to be talking about the TECHNOMANCER. The TECHNOMANCER, in my opinion, was probably the worst, but looking at it later and playing the TECHNOMANCER more, that's why I put the PYROMANCER at number 4. But the TECHNOMANCER, in the same way, doesn't have many crowd control skills. They do have the cryo turret, which can freeze enemies, which is nice, and their freeze melee is also really good as well. You can freeze a bunch of enemies at once. But again, the TECHNOMANCER kind of struggles like the PYROMANCER, where we just don't have access to everything that's gonna make them good yet. These two are very late game classes, is what seems to be. You know, you need to get these skill points and level them up to get their really good stuff. And later on, I seriously do think both of these classes will be great. But the reason the TECHNOMANCER is at number 3 over the PYROMANCER is, like I was saying, the healing mechanic. Their healing mechanic in the demo, at least, is just way better than the PYROMANCER's, because literally just shooting an enemy is going to heal you, and being low level, it's going to work out really nice. Whereas the PYROMANCER, you know, you have these long cooldowns that you can't really heal all the time. Unlike the TECHNOMANCER, has ability to heal constantly, has somewhat of ability to crowd control, and that's simply why the TECHNOMANCER is at number 3. Plus, also, he's really cool to play. The rockets are super fun, and they also have things like the poison bullets, where, you know, you do more damage, which also is going to be really nice to, you know, farm the good old captain in the demo. But that's pretty much all to be said about the TECHNOMANCER. I kind of went over the Pyro and Techno at the same time. It's just simply the PYROMANCER is, you know, at, I guess, bottom of the barrel, and the TECHNOMANCER is there, but their abilities are just a little bit better than the PYROMANCER's, you know, when it comes to lifesteal and crowd control, where, you know, like I said, the PYROMANCER doesn't have any of that right now in the demo. But now getting into the main ones, at number 2, I'm going to be putting the Devastator. The Devastator is very good. The healing mechanic is insane. Simply just getting up to an enemy, you're going to heal a lot when you kill them. It's a very good shotgun based class. The earthquake is going to stun enemies, you know, do a decent amount of damage, and they can literally jump in the air, take essentially no damage, go on an enemy, and just kill everything with a huge AoE explosion. And on top of that, they also have 2 defensive skills where he's going to put himself in rock, which is basically just armor, and you're virtually not going to be able to die. And then they also have their little shield thing where they can block bullets and then reflect them back enemies. So they have 2 very, very good crowd control skills, then 2 very, very good defensive focus skills. Now, not only are their crowd control skills just good at crowd controlling, they're also really good at doing damage as well. Then on top of the healing mechanic being very strong, this is just a class you're just going to run in, you know, and just obliterate everything. So being that they do have access to very good skills right now and their healing mechanic is super simple and super strong, that's why I'm putting it at the number 2 spot. And if you just compare these to the other 2 I've already went over, the Technomancer and Pyromancer, they just don't stand a chance anywhere against this one. And once again, I know I keep saying this is just for the demo. This is not for the full game. Again, when the full game launches, I seriously think all 4 classes are going to have their strong suits. It's just that the Devastator gets their really good skills early, it seems like, where the other 2 are going to get them later. But that is for the Devastator. And let's get into the number 1 spot, which probably comes to no surprise, the Trickster. The Trickster is extremely good. I actually played all 3 of the other classes first, then I went to the Trickster, and honestly, even playing the Trickster leveling up, I felt so much stronger than playing the Technomancer or Pyromancer all. And I kind of felt that way with the Devastator as well, but specifically with the Trickster, as soon as I started playing that class, like, I just felt insanely strong. It was crazy, just teleporting everywhere to enemies, slowing Tom down, just killing everybody with a sword swipe. Like, it was insane. Just like the Devastator, their healing mechanic is essentially the same. You're gonna kill an enemy at close range, you're gonna heal, but as the Trickster, you're also gonna get shields. To be a glass cannon focused character in the demo, the Trickster is honestly one of the tankiest, because the shields you get on top of the health generation from killing enemies up close, it's just untouchable compared to the other classes. And for farming the Captain, you also have the skill where you're going to increase your damage because you can infuse your bullets, and you also have your slow time bubble that's going to make everything just slow down, and you could just go ham and just do so much damage. On top of their mods as well, giving you increased damage when you pop some of these skills, like you can just obliterate everything in the demo. And I also know the Trickster is what a lot of people are going to play at launch, so having him be very strong in the demo is a very good thing, because everybody is enjoying it, and rightfully so, because they are super strong and super fun to play. But that's going to do it for the list. Again, like I said, all 4 of these classes are probably going to be extremely strong, you know, once you get all your builds going when the full game launches. This is just the demo, and obviously some classes are just going to be better early game because their skills are just going to be better than the others. As a bonus, if you want to know my worst to best on the way the characters actually look, I think the Technomancer is at number 4, the Devastator is at number 3, the Trickster is at number 2, and the Pyromancer is at number 1. I honestly think the Pyromancer looks sick. I really hope he's going to be extremely powerful when the game launches, because I am super excited to start making builds and diving into the Pyromancer. But that's what it all for me. Like I said, these are my opinions. I would love to know what you guys think. If you want to, you know, leave your list down, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, and list everything, that would be cool, because I would love to read what you guys think as well. But that is what it all for me. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.